From time immemorial, symbols were used to convey meanings such as danger, strength, and affiliation.
In this video, we'll be talking about one of man's many symbols, the Infernal Cape. The cape I like to call the Cape of Dreams. Let's begin with a question. When was the first time you heard of the Infernal Cape? Was it when it first came out? Did you watch some of this game's legends going forward? Or did you return to the game sometime afterwards to learn of its existence? Maybe it's your first time hearing about it. However you first learn of the Infernal Cape, for those who dream, it becomes their dream. The dream to get the best melee cape in the game. So how does one acquire the Cape of Dreams? To acquire it, you'll have to descend into the Inferno and face 69 waves without dying. Each of the waves on their own can be considered somewhat trivial. Completing all of the waves in one run is what makes the challenge so difficult. It's said by many to be a test of endurance. You have to endure 68 waves to reach the final boss, otherwise known as Zuck. For many first-time capers, this takes about 2 hours. During this 2 hours, you'll face very challenging waves just to even get a glimpse of Zuck. When you finally make it to Zuck, you have to then fight yourself. By that I mean, many people's nerves run high. Imagine spending 2 hours of your life to make it to this point to just die to a simple error. It's miserable every time. That's why it can be said to be a battle against yourself. Hands shake, palms sweat, and breathing becomes erratic for many. That definitely happened to me to some degree of magnitude. I was lucky enough to get this cape recently, and it did take quite a bit of luck. When it was all said and done, I died before wave 67 48 times. Wave 67 is the single Jad wave. I died there 0 times. Wave 68 is triple Jads, and I died there twice. While going for the Infernal Cape, I had to reach Zuck 11 times. 10 of those times were fails. To put that into perspective, that's like 20 hours down the drain after making it all the way to Zuck those 10 times. For the first few deaths, I was calm, but the more I died, it seemed the worse my nerves would get. I tried many different things to try to handle the nerves. I focused on my breathing, I tried to watch stuff that would hype me up. You know what I mean? Eventually though, I stumbled upon the Zuck trainers and Inferno simulators. I would log out before Zuck and use them. It was definitely the best way to steady my nerves. Even when the nerves were under control, simple misclicks of a few pixels were especially awful. So now is the perfect chance to look at some of the attempts to see some of the things that went wrong for me. This one was a few pixels and a few millisecond error. I right-clicked to attack the healer. At the last possible moment, my mouse went down and clicked walk here, which then pulled me through the Jad and caused them to go out of sync, and thus costed me 2 hours. No, how did I do that? Bro, no. Alright, so this is a pretty common mistake. This is like one of the first times I've made it to Zuck, and I didn't wait for the Zuck attack before moving up. You gotta be patient on the safe spot, and I was not patient. I ran up and I died. One very interesting thing about my attempts is that I died on wave 15 the most, at least around 6 times or so. And that's because I got overwhelmed by the blobs. The blobs can be especially tricky. This is a very interesting attempt. I ran out of runes 31 minutes into one run. Not the worst time waste, but it didn't feel good, let me tell you. You gotta make sure you get to the safe tiles. I didn't make it in time for this one, and I went down. Yeah, here's my reaction. I actually have the recording for this one. No! No! You can just hear the frustration in my voice. Often exhaustion in the later waves caused poor decision making and definitely played a role in a lot of my deaths. I had a very difficult time with Zuck healers. If your nerves are acting up, this is likely the most difficult part of the Inferno. That's because it requires a bit of quickness and precision, which is difficult with shaky hands. No! That's enough of my failures, struggles. Let's watch my final attempt. It's pretty crazy, and I got very, very lucky. I did it. I did it. No. No. Yes. Yes, dude. Oh, my word, man. Yes. The Cape of Dreams is mine. Barely. I barely got it there. I shouldn't be proud of that. You know what they say? A cape's a cape. That was certainly cape of all time. There's just 3 more things I gotta do now.